Good morning, One Leadsers. How the devil are you? I've got a double espresso and I've got something quite exciting going on today, which I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy in the near future. And how you do that is by making sure you're subscribed to the One Leads fan channel, hitting that notification bell so you are notified anytime we upload. I realise I look a little bit like Johnny Bravo today, but do you know what I mean? I'm embracing it. So, yeah, as I say, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out the content over the last couple of days. You guys are really enjoying the rumour mill, loving the interaction, the engagement over there, the discourse, the debate, the discussion is fantastic on every one of those streams. Can't do it today, as you can see, but here is your video. So, today I wanted to speak about the very, very big rumours that are now coming out about Matteo Joseph. Now, I think there's a way of going about this. I really do. Matteo, for me, it's his first season. It's his first season. He's 21 years of age, first full season. Farke starts the season with him, does really, really well in pre-season, as we all know, against some really decent teams. And we know, look, I'm very aware that pre-season isn't the same as, regular season, but there is a goal on either side of the pitch. There are 11 players on each side who play a game of football, and he was scoring and he was looking very good. I think it's interesting when you kind of look at his start to the season as well. In his first 8 starts in the Championship, in comparison to Joel Peru's first 8 starts that is, in the Championship, Joseph had the exact same amount of goal contributions, but it felt like the faith in Joseph not only dwindled with the manager, but definitely dwindled within the fan base. Real Betis are apparently considering, as of today, spending 15 million quid on the Spanish centre forward. Now, this says to me a fair few things. It says to me they have a lot of faith in him. Apparently, according to reports this morning, they see him as a Spanish number 9 in the near future. Obviously, we knew from the Spanish national side as well that they were effectively believing that Joseph could be the man. And when you look at his record for the under-21s, it's pretty decent this year. He's got a hell of a lot of goals. For whatever reason, it's just not quite worked for him in the Championship. And football's not linear. I keep mentioning this when it comes to Nonto, when it comes to even Bamford. Football's not linear. It's something that he's mentioned in an interview very recently. And I think it's key to note because Matteo Joseph is not a rubbish footballer. He's not. It's just it's factually incorrect. He would not be being looked at by a club who is sitting in the European places. In Spain, he would not be being picked and relied on and being spoken about as if he's going to be the Spanish number 9. And he needs to think about his career. He needs to think about the World Cup, everybody, as well, which is coming up. He'll have his eyes on that. But 15 million quid, it's a lot of money, and it's not that they're doing this and it's a ridiculous move by Real Betis, in my opinion. I think it's a very smart move, and I also think we have to apply caution to thinking that when a young player moves on, it's deserved and we need to get rid of him, and we shouldn't invest time and money into him, because we saw kind of what happened with Leif Davis, who was being spoken about very, very highly. Bielsa obviously liked him very much, and we got rid of him, and then obviously he went on to have he's having the career he's had at Leif Davis at Ipswich, which is excellent, really. But I think when you kind of look at Matteo, he's got a lot of attributes that would fit very, very nicely into a certain style. And once again, there's people talking about Jamie Vardy, there's people talking about certain other strikers who are there on a free, Callum Wilson. But you look at a lot of the attributes that Matteo has, maybe similarly to a Callum Wilson and Jamie Vardy in terms of a hybrid in terms of the playing style. Like Callum Wilson, he likes to come short. Like Callum Wilson, he can be very physical with the centre-back. But like Jamie Vardy, he also has the ability to go in and beyond the centre-backs and stretch that centre-back partnership. And his movement's very good. So a lot of the tendencies that, for example, people want when it comes to the striker, they've got to fit the manager's philosophy. They've got to fit the manager's, technical and tactical level on the pitch. And do I think Joseph will be starting week in, week out in the Premier League? No. And should he? No, probably not right now. It would be a bad move. Let's be honest. So he's kind of going down the pecking order. But for PSR reasons, 15 million would be smart from Leeds United, for Leeds United to get rid of him. But I'm sort of going on the side of caution with it, because I think to myself, a loan is something I would prefer, or if you are to sell him, you've got to have some first buyback clause on him. You've got to have something, because in a team of which Betis have been excellent this season, and a team of which you've got the likes of Johnny Cardozo, Anthony's obviously been unbelievable in La Liga, and a team of which attacking going forward wise is very decent, I think you've just got to be quite careful. Isco, part of that setup as well, has been exceptional for them this year. You've kind of got to look at it and how that would work in Mateo Josef's favour. The ball been played in and behind the centre-backs, and really favouring him and helping him when it comes to how he's going to be able to get chances and take on. But I would like Leeds from a negotiation standpoint, maybe to have like first buyback on him. I think, you've seen very, very recently in the case of Liam Delap and Man City, of which it feels like they'd have loved to have had that with him. Obviously, they don't put that in his contract, and they've done that with a lot of their youngsters, of which have gone out there and proven that they are top level. But I do think with someone like Matteo, the club put faith in him at the beginning of the season. But once again, I am coming back to that statistic. When you look at those first 8 starts, and we can even go to the first 10 starts, everybody. And that was the conversation at the beginning of the year. Who starts when it comes to Joel and when it comes to Matteo? Joel, for me, was excellent when he came off the bench, and that's very, very, I think, relatable to this year in the Premier League, where hopefully he's going to come off the bench, and when there's tired legs, there's going to be a lot more athleticism and fitness and stamina in Premier League games. So will he be able to adapt to that? But when he does come off the bench, that's kind of what I'm looking at. In the Championship, he did it. When he came off the bench, he was lethal when there were tired legs, and that's actually at points where I think you saw the best of Joel Peru. But in those first 10 games, there was Championship starts that he had. It wasn't great. And it was very similar with Joseph. And I just think that he was out, and when he was out, and then the minutes were very, very low when it comes to it. But Joseph isn't a bad footballer in my opinion at all. He's not rubbish. I don't think so. I think it's very reactionary to say that, because I don't think we've seen enough of him in a Leeds United shirt. So it kind of bothers me a little bit that we will be letting him go. I think it will happen. It's going to help when it comes to PSR in terms of Leeds getting players in as well. But it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like we've seen enough of him. It doesn't feel like with his first season at the club, is he going to be able to have a second season, a third season? Then he progresses and gets better, which is what happens with young footballers. I think it's a bit ridiculous to be calling him crap after his first campaign, of which he didn't start that many games at the beginning of the season, did he? And then that was it really. He came on occasionally. I think QPR he got 90 minutes towards the back end of the year, but aside from that there was nothing really. So there's consistency with youngsters, and we all say this all the time on the Rumour Mills. I always see it in the comments section. You've got to have consistency with youngsters. They've got to have the belief, and that applies to Matteo Joseph, of course it does. So I think with PSR reasons it makes a lot of sense, but I would like us to have like almost a first buyback on him if that is the case. And he goes to Betis and he does really, really well, because then I think we'd probably feel a bit silly, wouldn't we? But yeah, I don't think the club will want to do it. There's been a piece that's gone out this morning that the club don't. They don't want to sell Joseph. They don't want to do that. But if it helps with PSR, we might have to do it. Which I just think is a big shame, a real big shame. But you guys let me know in the comment section below when it comes to Matteo. What do you think? Do you think it's worth selling him? Do you think it's worth him going out on loan? Do me a favour, don't just put in the comment section below, he's crap, get rid. Because, I like in the comment section reading them, and we can have a bit of a discussion, make your points. Let's have a bit of evidence in there as well, and tell me what you actually think on him and why it would work, and maybe why it's not worked with Matteo. Really appreciate it, guys. Apologies I'm not there for the live today, but you can catch up on 2 from yesterday. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in a bit.